Hello and welcome to another episode of FinTech Focus TV, powered by Harrington Starr, global leaders in financial technology recruitment. Head over to harringtonstar.com where you'll be able to see some of the greatest jobs in financial technology recruitment across the world. You'll also be able to find a host of insight to help you grow your brand, your team, your network and your career. You can see the latest financial technology salary survey. You'll be able to download the issue of the Financial Technologist, focusing on the appetite for disruption. And our latest Top 1% Workplace Awards will be out at the end of this year. If you work for a company that's a great place to work in financial technology, we want to hear from you. Enjoy the show, and I'll see you soon. Hello and welcome to another special episode of FinTech Focus TV, coming live from the Americas Trading Conference, brought to you by Fix. And we have the king of Fix here himself, Jim Kaye. How are you?
Very good, very good. Thank you very so much.
Listen, great to have you here, and great to be here. There's a real buzz around the room this morning. Some fantastic conversations that have been lined up throughout the whole day. I'm really excited about this. I'm really looking forward to a great day's worth of speaking to some fascinating people. It looks like it keeps on growing every single year. I was talking that pre-pandemic, it was there over in the financial district. Back in America, and seeing it grow time on time is just awesome to see you guys doing it. So, Jim, we're going to get into what we can expect from the conference today, some of the themes, some of the things you're looking at. But before we do that, can you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about Fix?
Sure. So, my name is Jim Kaye. I'm the executive director of the Fix trading community. I have been doing that for the last 2 years or so, but I've been involved in Fix for the last 20 or so years. You know, a decent part of my career. And that is basically a product electronic trading background, natural fits into Fix. And I've seen things change a lot over the last couple of decades. The organization grow, membership grow, everything we do grow, all changing.
And it's done exactly that, hasn't it? I remember probably first I started interacting with the community 10, 15 years ago maybe, or something like that, and actually to see the evolution of it to where it is now, it's a powerhouse. And it's incredible to see where it is. It's incredible to see how passionate people who are in the community are about the community as well, which I don't think really happens in an awful lot of places. So it's got a special ingredient that does really well. I think it looks after its own effectively, and helps to provide, to solve genuine problems in a really collaborative way, and allows people to interact, which may well be competitive at various different phases, but I think people I think David Pearson said earlier on, they leave the guns at the door and sort of come in there to help solve the issues in the market.
And I think that's generally been the kind of secret, if you like, to how he's worked. I mean, if you think about how Fix started out, it was basically two organizations who obviously had a business interest in working together, decided to open up what they'd built, their own IP, to the industry. They basically gave away something that was worth a lot of money to the industry, to the world, and that doesn't happen every day. And that kind of instilled a kind of sense of, if you like, community and almost gratitude from the industry. It's like, this has happened, we need to keep nurturing it. And then what you then do is find the whole thing self-perpetuates. You realize that you can repeat that trick again and again and again, and indeed you have to, because things keep changing. You look at the work we've been doing over the last 20 years has come from regulatory initiatives. It's come from the business trying to do more and more things. It's the business fundamentally trying to save money. And all these three sort of forces, if you like, do bring people together. These are not things you can fight. You can't necessarily do things better than other people. You just have to work together, and then you make your money another way. It's you apply the common standard in a particularly clever way, and then you differentiate yourself that way. And that, I think, has been a big mindset change, which has stuck with the organization, our organization, and indeed our membership ever since. And one thing it does is it encourages the sort of people who like to work that way. If you look at any financial organization, you get the doers, you get the leaders, you get the thinkers, you get all sorts. And our job, if you like, is to make sure that the right mix of those people can to get together with their peers from their competitors, their clients, their suppliers, all sorts of people to try and solve these problems. Because we've worked out as an industry that the more people you get around the table, within reason, the higher quality and outcomes you get.
There's some brilliant minds across the industry, and I love the fact that there's so many different steering committees and regional committees, and this is a genuinely global effort that are looking at how we can solve the issues that allow everyone to thrive and move further forward. And when you look at the different groups, and even I love what you guys are doing with the sort of next generation of Fix as well. There's things that are being thought of all the way through the business to say, how can we look at all of the issues around it? And that's kind of the agenda today, right? Well, if you look at an agenda, it's not something there which is identikit to everything else you're seeing in the industry.
Yeah.
There's things there that have clearly been thought of that sort of match the interest and the agenda of what you're talking
That's
about.
exactly
So tell me a little bit about that. Tell me how you thought about the agenda. Tell me what you're lining up. Tell me how it works.
I think the first place to start is, why do we run these in the first place? Why do we do conferences as a stands organisation? There are two reasons, and only two reasons. One is bring the community together. Make sure that the people we need to be talking to each other know who they are.
Yeah.
And just build those connections and maintain those connections. The other piece is really understand from the community what it is they need, and also push back information the other way. And the way we set our agendas is really about trying to achieve those objectives all at the same time. We want to have a broad enough agenda to get as many different types of people in the room as possible, because that's how you get the best sort of flow of information, the flow of ideas. At the same time, having it concentrated enough on relevant topics, so they're relevant both to what we're doing and also perhaps what the industry is worried about and perhaps we should be doing. And try and bring all those things together. So the agenda is set by our members. As an organisation, we just facilitate the process. We don't actually set anything. So our members set the agenda, right? Which is exactly the way it should be. They pick the speakers.
Yeah.
They set the agenda. They set the timings. They set everything. We work with partners. We have SIFMA here, for example, who have Wound in Financial Markets.
Yeah.
These are organisations we partner with, and their equivalents in other jurisdictions as well.
Yeah.
Because again, we want to learn what their members are worried about, where we don't have overlap. We want to find out what they're up to, and they can learn about what we're up to. So it's trying to use that flow of information, not just around our own community and our own membership, but others as well.
Yeah.
And that's how we do that.
It's brilliant. And with regards to America itself as a hub, I know you guys are sort of a very global organisation, and you've got. I've seen sort of meetups in Tokyo. I've seen them in Australia. I've seen them in obviously the sort of the biggest one I think is in London, if I'm not mistaken, all across the Nordics. America's to me as just this sort of golden opportunity and such a growth area for everything. Tell me how you guys are set up over here, and what's the plan for North America?
So we've kind of restaffed, if you like, over here. We haven't had anybody in the Americas for quite a long time. We've now got Lawrence Jones is our regional director. He's been here for a couple of years now. Yeah. We've pushing what we do far more in the Americas than we have done in recent years, and I think. I wouldn't say we've taken our eye off the ball. I think it's basically the pressures of work, if you like, regulatory environment and so on, has forced focus on Asia and Europe. There's just been a lot going on there. Now, I think the Americas is taking centre stage for all sorts of reasons. One of which is the small fact that it's the largest capital market on the planet, so of course we're going to have to focus on it. A huge proportion of our membership is based here anyway.
Yeah.
So it's not like we don't have American members. We have plenty.
Yeah.
And of course, there's so much change going on. I mean, our agenda, we have T+1 settlement, of course,
Absolutely.
which is a favourite topic. But there are dozens of other things. You've got some very, very active players in the regulatory space. You've got a hugely vibrant financial industry, not just in terms of the large players, but in terms of the rate of change, new generation of ideas, new firms coming through. It's all going on here.
Yeah.
And we absolutely are committed to basically getting that community fully engaged in what we do, and really at the forefront of what we do.
Going back to that agenda as well, with regards to this, is we mentioned obviously T+1, and we've been speaking about that being a sort of key part of it. I'm really looking forward to speaking about my favourite subject, the people aspects of all of this.
Yeah.
Tell me what some of the other meta themes that you're seeing in the fixed community are that people are worried about, care about, want to help solve at the moment.
Yeah, I mean there is this kind of like sort of constant trickle of just general improvements and changes, and that's always kind of there in the background. That's our kind of bedrock, if you like. I think the main things we're seeing are a mixture of technological innovation. So we have our Orchestra standard, which we will be covering here, as we do in all our events, and that's because it is we see that as being the kind of next big leap in terms of productivity. The fixed protocol was a productivity leap for electronic trading, and everything that kind of went around that. We see Orchestra as being the next leap in terms of how to use it, and indeed any other kind of electronic trading protocol or messaging protocol, just to make things easier and faster and more reliable. So we've got a bit of that. There are topics about how we kind of manage people's workflows more effectively, if you like. So we've kind of gone from the basics of modeling how people trade and how people settle and all these kind of other things. They're not finished. They will never be finished, but they are fairly mature. What we're now doing is doing the kind of next layer outside that, saying, well, how do you kind of get all of that working even faster? With fewer people, because there are fewer people. And trying to do more, more clients, get trading faster, do it safely, without compromising on any types of quality.
That safely piece is, I think, often underestimated. So there's themes that I get on these show and speaking to people from Fix where the agenda is very much set around productivity, cost reduction, friction removal, etc., etc. But I think in this sort of space, the sort of thought process of safety is often less thought about. And when at the event yesterday where we heard about the sort of size of fines that are happening in the space, actually that's a really important factor that comes into it as well. So a really blended conversation we've got all the way through today, and some good things to be talking about. You mentioned about the sort of growth of Fix and the companies who are coming into it. We know the membership's been growing progressively. It's it's a group that's been talked about across the industry. I think most people are there and know of it and go through it. But tell me about who you're onboarding, who should be reaching out to you guys at the moment, and how they can do that and become part of the magic that is Fix.
So look, I mean, our membership is predominantly made up of some traditional financial firms, the major investment banks, the exchanges, and so on, along with a very, very healthy mix of suppliers, vendors, basically. Many of them are represented here, exhibiting here, for example. And we need all of the above. I think it's safe to say that the new membership opportunities come more from the vendor side because there are many more of them. And actually, from our perspective and our community's perspective, they are really one of the most useful parts of our membership because they are the ones who come up with the solutions. And what we want as an industry is highest quality solutions that as many people can adopt as possible. That kind of benefits absolutely everybody. So vendors benefit from standardization in many, many ways. And again, they can add their own secret bit on the side to differentiate the product. But fundamentally, being in the room to understand what the problem is, being in the room to contribute to what the solution may be, and also hearing perhaps from their potential customers as to why the solutions will or won't work, that's a very, very powerful opportunity for these firms. And it works both ways. It's very powerful for us as well because we are then getting high quality ideas. We're getting a lot of newer people back to the next gen point. That's a lot of where a lot of our next gen brains, if you like, come from that part of the community. And they've got some extremely interesting ideas, which we need as an industry. We just need these ideas.
I think it's so encouraging, actually. I was going to wrap up. I think this is really important. The next gen piece was captured my imagination when I think it was spoken about in London, if not this year, I can't remember how long it's been running now. But I think it's a brilliant sort of brains trust, as you say, of different thinking as we see new names and new people coming into the industry. And I think I've been coming to Fix events for a long time now, and there's a sort of group that's sort of moved through, and then there's this really encouraging next generation coming through. So tell me a little bit about the thought process behind next gen and how you guys are cultivating that and building that next group.
So I think there's two parts to it. One is almost a purely selfish piece, which is we need to make sure that as people like myself who sort of move through the system, so to speak, there are other people coming behind to kind of pick up the reins. It's been something which a lot of the people who are involved in Fix have done so for a long time. And we're not going to be around forever. At some point we will retire.
So it's not true.
I know. But that's something which is that's a kind of internally focused view of the world, but of the problem. But I think the slightly bigger piece is simply we have an ability to kind of encourage people through that process. People like myself and many of other scholars who've been long timers in Fix have partly built our careers part off the back of this type of process. You kind of learn the collaborative skills. You learn how to deal with other people. You learn how to facilitate conversations. You learn how to solve things. And these are fundamentally important skills that you don't necessarily pick up in your day job because you don't have that type of networking environment. And I think that's one of the big powerful things that we can deliver as an organization. In fact, you train people how to be good Fix people because good Fix people are just good industry people.
100%.
And that goes well beyond industry people. You just get these are skills you can use absolutely anywhere. So I think that's something which is something very, very, very important to a lot of us on the leadership side of the Fix. And of course, the side effect of that is that you end up with people coming through who, firstly, might want to give something back into the Fix organization, which is good, but also just are able to work collaboratively with others, their competitors, their peers, their clients, and so on, in a manner that might not necessarily be that natural to them. So all of those things are vital.
It's exciting.
Yeah.
I don't like the idea. I don't like the idea of this this sort of changing of the guard, though. We want to keep the gang together.
It's a bit scary. I know. Yeah.
Jim, let's finish off by saying how people should get in touch with you. They want to find out more about Fix. Who should they be reaching out to? What's the best way to get in touch?
So the short and easy answer is we have a generic fix@fixtrading.org email account for people to get in touch with, and that will we'll monitor that, and we can generally find out how to respond to things. We of course have a website which is fixtrading.org. There's a lot of information on there as well. But the best thing to do is simply just email us, get in touch. We'll answer your questions, and we'd love to hear from you.
Always do it.
Yeah.
Well, Jim, from me, it's a massive thank you. I love these days. I love the events. I love what you guys are doing. It's always an absolute privilege to be involved in it. Can't wait to hear what comes out of it throughout the rest of the day. And thanks for putting on another great show.
No problem at all. Thanks
really
so
good
much.
To see you.
Great. Thank you.
Thanks for watching. We'll see you soon on another episode of FinTech Focus TV. Thanks a lot.